Hello friends, welcome to UGC EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Mirza Alim Beg, Assistant Professor, Department of Economics, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Today we will discuss application of chi-square analysis. Chi-square analysis is non-parametric statistical test with no rigid assumption. It is commonly used for testing independence and goodness of fit to a given frequency distribution. Testing for goodness of fit determines if an observed frequency distribution matches to a theoretically generated one. Chi-square test is used mainly to test the significance of a null hypothesis under which some frequencies are generated against a given set of frequencies. The basis of a chi-square test is to test the validity of an assumption regarding the process which generates a given distribution theoretically. If the theory is valid, it will generate the frequency distribution very close to the given distribution and the theory is validated. However, if the generated values are not found to be close to the given frequency distribution, the theory is rejected. Main question which is resolved with the help of chi-square test is how to test the closeness of generated or expected frequencies to the given frequencies. Chi-square statistics is defined as the sum of the values obtained by dividing the square of the difference between observed and expected frequencies by the expected frequencies for each class. It has been shown that this statistics follows a specific distribution known as chi-square distribution with some degrees of freedom. The degrees of freedom will be n minus 1 if there are n number of classes. However, if we are dealing a problem related to a contingency table of r rows and c columns, the degrees of freedom will be r minus 1 into c minus 1. A table of chi-square values is generated for degrees of freedom starting with 1 up to 100 plus. The values are tabulated for different levels of significance. A sample of the chi-square table for degrees of freedom up to 25 for 5%, 1% and 0.1% level of significance is given in table 1. If a computed value of chi-square is found to be less than the corresponding value given in the table, it is said to be statistically insignificant. This will mean that the theory or the hypothesis under which the expected frequencies have been generated may be accepted, or we accept the hypothesis which is known as the null hypothesis. On the other hand, if the calculated value of the chi-square is found to be more than the corresponding tabulated value for some level of significance, the null hypothesis is rejected. That is, the assumption under which the expected frequencies are generated will not hold. In such case, the null hypothesis is rejected and we accept the alternative hypothesis. To summarize the above, we can say the basis of chi-square analysis is the comparison of frequencies expected under precisely defined conditions with frequencies observed in the actual pattern under investigation. It is represented by chi-square equal to summation of square of OI minus EI divided by EI, where OI stands for observed data frequencies and EI stands for expected values of the distribution. After calculating the chi-square value, it is compared with the table values to examine the validity of the formulated null hypothesis. In this regard, two main aspects of the analysis must be remembered. First, the degrees of freedom, and second, the level of significance of the distribution. What is degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom is generally the number of independent parameters of information that is provided in a given set of data. For example, if there are 4 scores and the mean is 50, it means that the sum of the given scores is 200. For the first score, we are free to choose any value, for example 70. In the same way, for the second score, we can freely select 20, for the third 45, which brings to a total of 135. At this point, our freedom stops, as we cannot have any choice on the last number, as it has to be 65, because the sum has to come to 200. So, when we do the average of 4 scores, we have 3 degrees of freedom, which means that we are totally free for the first 3 numbers to choose, but the fourth number is forced on us to take. So, the degrees of freedom used in chi-square analysis is n minus 1, where n is the total number of frequencies. The shape of the distribution will vary with n minus 1 degrees of freedom, which is testing ground of distribution that is given in table 1. So, table 1 provides you the critical value of chi-square distribution. Next is on level of significance. The calculated value of chi-square is compared with the critical values given in the table to find out whether the sum of the differences between the observed and expected frequencies is statistically significant or not. This is always tested in terms of certain probabilities. These probabilities indicate the level of confidence under which we can reject or do not reject the null hypothesis. There are various probability levels for which the table values of chi-squares are given. It is called the level of significance. Usually, the value of chi-square at 0.05 and 0.01 levels of significance for the given degrees of freedom are used from the table for the purpose of analysis, which signifies that we are 95% and 99% confident while accepting or rejecting the null hypothesis. There is chi-square calculator for calculating its critical value for a given value of degree of freedom. In this calculator, select calculation, degrees of freedom and enter appropriate value. You will find the critical table value as given above in table 1. Now, let us look at example. Consider a hypothetical set of scores of number 1, 2, 3 and 4 with some frequencies. This is given in table 2. Suppose we have to decide about the fact that these frequencies are generated with equal probabilities. Now, we can make null as scores are generated with equal probabilities, and alternative hypothesis can be framed as scores are not generated with equal probabilities. Now, rejecting or not rejecting the null hypothesis will help us in making the conclusion about the process. The above hypothesis can be tested with the help of chi-square test, as you could see in table 2. See column 2 of the table. This provides the observed frequencies of the scores. The column 3 of the table gives the expected frequencies under the assumption of equal probabilities, whereas column 4 gives the difference, and next column, that is column 5, gives the square of the difference, and last column gives the final value to be added, and at the bottom of the column the sum which is calculated value of chi-square for 3 degrees of freedom, and this is calculated as 30.07. Here at degrees of freedom equal to 3, the calculated value of chi-square is 30.7. This calculated value of chi-square is to be tested against the values of chi-square for 3 degrees of freedom given in table 2 for different level of significance. The table value of chi-square is found to be 11.345 at 1% level of significance. This you could see in table 1. Since our calculated value is much higher than the tabulated values, even at 0.1% level of significance, it is statistically significant and null hypothesis is rejected. Now, application of chi-square test. Chi-square test is applicable when expectations are based on normal distributions. So, the selection of samples from a given population and its goodness of chances may be tested with this analysis. Chi-square test is also applicable when our expectations are based on predetermined results. Chi-square test is used to test the degree of divergence of observed values from expected results. When our expectations are based on hypothesis of equal probability of the occurrences the event in a specific geographic environment. What are the uses of chi-square test? It is conceptually useful to test the proportions between observed and expected values of the event. It is used in testing hypothesis, but is not useful for estimation. Chi-square test can be applied to complex contingency table with several classes of different attributes. Chi-square test has a very useful property, that is the additive property. If a number of sample studies are conducted in the same field, the results can be pooled together. This means that chi-square values can be added. Now, we have examples for different situations. Example 1: in 50 tosses of a coin, we have observed 20 heads and 30 tails. The null hypothesis in this regard suggests that there is no difference between the number of heads and the number of tails, and thus the coin is uniform. Since there are only two outcomes, that is heads and tails, thus expected frequencies will be 50 divided by 2 equal to 25. Therefore, the expected frequencies for both the outcomes will be 25 each, and the observed are 20 heads and 30 tails. This is given in table 3. As we know, chi-square equal to summation of square of OI minus EI divided by EI. Using this formula, we calculate chi-square value, and this turns out to be 2. Since the number of categories head and tail are 2, the degrees of freedom, that is defined as n minus 1. So, in this case it will be 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. At 1 degree of freedom, the tabulated value of chi-square at 0.05 level of significance is 3.84, and at 0.01 level of significance is 6.64. The calculated value of chi-square is 2, which is smaller than the tabulated value, even both at 5% and 1% level of significance. Hence, the null hypothesis that the coin is uniform in both its sides and there is no significant statistical difference between the number of heads and the number of tails is accepted. Example 2: the value of chi-square can be calculated under the assumption of independence of two attributes when two attributes are cross classified into a contingency table. If the row and column attributes are independent, the expected frequencies of the cell in the ith row and jth column in a contingency table is equal to Ri into Cj divided by n, where Ri and Cj are the totals of row and jth column and n is the total number of frequencies. Degrees of freedom of R rows and C column is R minus 1 and C minus 1 respectively. It is demonstrated in the following hypothetical situation. Two field surveyors classified some houses in a village on the basis of type from the sample they collected. Their results are given in table 4. chi-square analysis is used here to show that the sampling technique of one field surveyors is defective. The null hypothesis in this case says that the sample techniques adopted by the field surveyor are similar. The expectations of an investigator in classifying the house types are kacha houses, pakka houses, RCC houses. Similarly, the expectations of B investigator in classifying the house types are kacha houses, pakka houses, RCC houses, and the numbers of kacha houses, pakka houses, RCC houses are respectively 120, 60, 20 for investigator A, 180, 90 and 30 for investigator B. We can now calculate the value of chi-square, and this is given in table 5. The chi-square value calculated using the above data is 55.54. The degrees of freedom is equal to 2. The tabulated value of chi-square for 2 degrees of freedom at 5% level of significance is 5.991. The calculated value is thus higher than the tabulated value, which means that the null hypothesis, which suggested the sample techniques of both the field surveyor are similar, is rejected. Thus, the technique of one surveyor is better than the other. Next example. In order to determine the distribution pattern of an area, the chi-square test is used, though it is space based measure rather distance based, as described in nearest neighbor analysis. The entire space is divided into equal size grids or squares, and then numbers of each grid are counted to calculate their density. In doing this measure, we proceed as follows: count the number of points in the pattern under consideration, construct grid squares of equal size to cover the study area completely, calculate the observed frequencies of points in each grid square, calculate the expected frequencies of points in each grid square, working on the assumption that the pattern is perfectly ordered as in the figure 2 part A. Expected frequency E I equal to total number of points in the area divided by total number of grids. Count the number of points actually located within each grid square for the pattern in question and record each total as an observed frequency OI. Calculate the value of chi-square from the formula discussed earlier. This is best done by tabulating the observed and expected frequency for each square as exemplified. An example has been worked out to demonstrate the chi-square test from topo sheet number 45 with RF 1:50,000 to analyze the distribution of settlements in a part of Gujarat state. The entire area is divided into 24 equal grids and the degree of freedom n minus 1 in this case calculated is 24. The tabulated value of chi square at 5% level of significance is 36.42 and at 1% level of significance is 42.98. The calculated value of chi square is 196.36, which is much higher than the critical table value. Hence, the null hypothesis that the settlement pattern is uniformly distributed is hereby rejected. This you could see from table 6. Calculation of chi-square value. The value of chi-square obtained in this way can be interpreted in a simple manner. If the pattern being studied is itself perfectly uniform, then chi-square equal to 0, since expected and observed frequencies are identical. In general, a low total of chi-square indicates a fairly uniform distribution of points, while a higher value suggests a greater degree of clustering. The maximum value of chi-square is obtained when all the points in a pattern lie within one grid square. An increase in either the total number of points in the pattern or number of grid square used would give a higher maximum value for chi-square. Now, to sum up, the main drawback of this method is the large variation of its result that can be obtained by using different grids. Changes in the size and orientation of individual square in the grid can have a considerable effect upon the value of chi-square, even though the number and pattern of points in the distribution remains the same. Peter Davis 1974 says, the size of the grid squares used determines the effectiveness of the technique in recognizing elements of clustering which may be present in a distribution. As grid squares become smaller, the discrimination of clustering improves and the value of chi-square therefore increases. On the other hand, the use of large grid squares reduces the value of chi-square and gives the impression of greater uniformity. In the extreme case, the use of a single large grid square to cover the entire study area would indicate a perfectly ordered pattern regardless of the degree of clustering which actually existed. Thus, valid comparison between distributions is only possible if a standard size of grid square is used. In the geographical studies, grid size determines the frequencies of the distribution and predicts more accurate results. Thank you. हो गया खत्म.